just a good old boy.
Howdy y'all. I'm rebuilding these hydraulic ports on this McCormick today. Or not rebuilding, resealing them, putting new seals and whatnot in them. I got new kits to go in them to stop the leaks that's on this thing. Trying to get everything straightened out on it, but I already went ahead and rebuilt this one. And then I've got all the three other ones. They're just pouring. One of them is just like a constant spigot running. It's bad, but I'm gonna clean them out, get the O-rings out. What they've got in them is there's a black rubber O-ring, and then there's another white spacer or seal in there, and they sit in there just like that. The white one comes first, and then the black O-ring goes behind it. They're pretty easy to rebuild. You just want to make sure you get all the trash out and everything before you put them back. So let me get it here. Let y'all see in there. Let's see. You might be able to see right there. There's just got to pry them right out of there. So bear with me right here. If y'all bear with me, I can't hold the camera and y'all be able to see what I'm doing and everything else. I might be able to do it like this. I'll reach in here. I'm gonna just pick. Just gonna try to pick that black one out, get behind it, and hook it, and then pull it out like that. And then there's a white one in here that's got to come out as well. There we go. Pull it out. Get it stuck over. There. Now, we need to take the cleaner. Wash this thing out real good. Get good and clean on the inside. Take a screwdriver. Try to wipe that out. Here, let me get something to sit y'all on so we got a better view. It's also got a bad fuel leak. The vent on it's messed up. I'm gonna have to get a new vent for the fuel tank, so that way it can stop leaking. The other day when I went to cut hay with this thing, it was pretty bad. It had fuel leaking out everywhere onto the trailer. It's just when you fill it up full. If you fill it up so full, it'll run out. When you're going to be gone all day, you have to fill it up, so you just have to deal with whatever runs out right now. I've got to fix that on it. I've got some wiring to fix on the inside I've got to do. Hopefully that'll have everything straightened out for the time being. We'll have it fixed up, ready to roll. Or not roll, mow. Got a lot of mowing to do. Fixing to start back on the second cut. We got a lot of cutting to do. Get in there. Okay. Things can be tricky to get in there. I don't know, dude. Plastic ones. There we go. All new seals and all clean. The piece down here on this thing, I welded it. We don't never use them. So I figured there wasn't no point in worrying about it. I don't think I ever mentioned that. I just welded it. So that way I don't have to deal with it. If I don't ever take it off, all I gotta do is cut it. And or grind the weld off and put a new one on. But for now, I welded it. It was just easier. I've yet to do this on any of the Fergusons other than 3 we've done it on 1 or 2 of them. But I mean, it's a 94 model with several thousand hours on it. I don't know exactly how many's on it right now. Let's go get a mower and put it on. Get it ready. Well, everybody's been telling me for a long time that I needed to try this, and I ain't never tried it. One reason is the newer models came with the, what I'm doing is I'm going to be painting the Coons accumulator with graphite paint. These accumulators, the newer ones, came with the metal flashing at the top. That was where everybody always had the issues and painted them with the graphite paint on the older models. Well, this one comes with metal flashing. My problem isn't up there, it's down here where these bales turn. So what I'm going to do is, this side here has been the most problematic. For whatever reason, they're both adjusted the same. I've checked them with tape measure, everything is set the way the book says it's supposed to be. But that side tends to be the one that has the issue turning versus this side. Whatever reason, I don't know. This one messes up too sometimes, but it's not as often as this one. It works pretty good, especially after it gets slicked up and you run a lot of hay through it for a while. But it's aggravating in the first 100 bales to get off 2 or 3 times, having to straighten bales out, and then periodically the rest of the day. But it does get better the longer you run it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to paint this area right here where the flat plate is, which is where it starts to turn, with this graphite paint on this side, and I'm going to see if it helps. If it helps, I'm going to spray both sides. Depending on how it looks when it goes on, I may do those rails up there too. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'm definitely going to be doing this side here to see what it'll do. So let me set y'all up, and we're going to get started painting. main area, basically at an angle right down through here. Well, there she is. She's painted. It's got a texture. It almost looks like sandpaper. I just don't see how in the world that's going to slide hay over it better than a slick piece of steel. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'm taking y'all's word for it. Well, now I'm on the way to the cattle sale barn, load of cattle. I'm gonna take them up there and drop them off and leave them. Well, we got them unloaded now. I gotta go in here and see Mom. And we'll see what else we can get into today. You getting anything done in here?
Yeah.
Well, now I gotta put hay in. One in here and one outside. This is some hay we baled. I think it was a little too green. We was a little bit worried about it, but I put preservative on it. But it was still a little bit questionable, so we didn't. I ain't seen no mold in it yet, so that preservative works. Let's check on our paint. Pretty well dry. It's still probably a little tacky, but it's just really rough textured. I was figuring it'd be more of a smooth texture than that, but it's not. There's some of the dust that come off of it. No, we'll just have to wait and see. I gotta hook this, put that GI hitch on this tractor, on the new tractor. So that way tomorrow we can haul hay. I gotta haul one of those last fields that y'all just seen us bale up. It's the one that's 45 minutes from here. So I get to go a long haul tomorrow. And I'll just pull the hay back to the barn up there and stack it with this tractor like I normally do every year. If you've been watching, you know what I'm going to do. And get this wire fence tie back through this pin that we use. This is not how this hitch normally is. I lengthened it out because I hooked it to the tractor to wash it off to paint it. I gotta push this thing off back against the wall. There we go. Now we can get in here. Alright, let me crank this thing up and we're gonna hook the hitch up to it now. Alright, I got that on. Somebody said the other day, was being very nice. I ain't got to answer my comments lately like I need to. When we was on vacation, I got behind. I was spending time with family and everything and doing my thing, but I'll try to get to them maybe tonight or next few days if I can get caught up on everything. But somebody said that I work hard. No, I don't work hard. My 78-year-old grandpa who's gone to get a load of cattle and catch them and load them by himself works hard. I don't know how he's still doing it. I really don't. And he won't let you help him. That's the problem. Oh, y'all probably think, well, you were to be with him helping him. Well, me and my dad, we try, but he's stubborn and he don't want, sometimes he don't want help. So, but it's just a handful, so hopefully he'll make it back all right. Them older folks, they won't listen. They always talk about the younger ones, but the older ones don't want to listen either. The other day, somebody said something when I did the review, left a comment about these being extremely complicated, and they basically didn't want one on account of, I mean, there's nothing to these things. They're a lot simpler than a side delivery square baler. I don't know why they didn't design them this way instead of the side delivery, because the side delivery is a lot more complicated really when you get down to it than these are. You can get them without the hydraulic pump, no hydraulic pickup, which those are all added options that you can get, and you can still have screw up pickup and screw tension on the back. You don't have to have hay moisture sensors or preservative. All that stuff is things that help save money, that helps make things easier. It's more complex, it's more technology, but it's worth it. It helps. I've added all that stuff myself in the last 2 years, I guess. Over the last 2 years, I've been adding all this stuff, like the accumulator and the camera system on the accumulator. All those little things. When you look at it, it looks really complicated. It's not, but all those little things help. But the actual baler itself is really simple. There's not really a whole lot to it. Pickups are just like any pickup. Is on a side pull or whatever. The difference is on these is, well, they're really not that different if you can compare them to a John Deere. John Deere's have the screw augers, and then you have the forks to pull your hay into the center chamber. Well, they're no different than these forks. I mean, they look different. Obviously, they only have generally two on most of these square balers you see, whereas these have 4 forks that come in, but it's all one piece. It just makes one swoop, just like a side pull is. There's really not a lot to them. You got your pickup mouth, just like any baler has and everything. Then you got your flywheel. There's no difference in that than any other baler. And then you got 2 chains. That's basically the gist of how this thing works. And then it's in time, just like any baler out there. You have timing just like any baler out there. Knotters are the same old knotters that's been on every baler I can think of for forever. They're all basically the same. They're a little bit, some of them might be a little bit different, but it's all the same thing. This technology is the oldest hay technology as you can get. As far as knotters and the square bale system, I mean, these are basically the original square baler or hay balers. They didn't used to have round balers. Round balers can be considered maybe simpler in some cases, but as far as a square baler go, they don't get a lot more simpler than an inline. The side pulls are a lot more complex than the inlines are. It's one of those things, after you see one and you run one and you're like, well, then why the heck did they ever have the other style? Because it just makes more sense. I mean, you have the chamber that runs up through, the fork feeds straight in the chamber, and the plunger pushes it forward. It's no different than a side delivery baler that rakes the hay over from the side instead, and then the plunger goes through. The only difference is your knives are on the bottom instead of the side. I mean, you still have knives. There's not any difference. They're just on the bottom instead of the side of the baler. and it cuts from the bottom instead of the side. I mean, that's it. The chambers, the bale chutes are still the same design. The knotters still the same design. The hay forks or the twine forks are still the same design. The feed system, I mean, there's really, other than it goes up instead of from the side, there's really not a whole lot of difference. I mean, these balers are extremely simple. That's one thing about Massey Ferguson 1840s. They are, or 1800 series. They're very simple. There's not a lot to them. I mean, you got your chain pickups on each side, just like any baler has. All Squire balers have chains or belts. This one has belts and chains. Some of them are that way. The old Ford Squire balers were that way. The old Ford we had was belt driven, which I prefer because it works good, especially on rough ground. It'll allow it to give and then go back to pulling, and they work really good. I mean, there's just not a lot to it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. It's just a discussion to think about. Please, y'all, keep it nice. I don't want to see all these nasty, dang comments about stupid crap just because somebody's got their feelings hurt. Grow up. See y'all later. Thank y'all for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.